A very good morning and welcome back to Oslo for the last day of action here in this, the 7th round of the Biathlon World Cups. We're getting towards the crunch stage of the season and a big crowd turning up because today we have the mass starts. Only the top 30 in the World Cup allowed to enter. 3 degrees already, and it's going to get warmer as the sun comes up, but with everyone starting at the same time, that really isn't a major feature today. But Mark G alongside myself. Mark, the key today is going to be the wind in the pursuits. Big strong winds, worst we've had, or the best some would say, of the season. It could turn out to be the same today with the heat building as the race goes on.
Yeah, it looks like the weather is a little bit unstable, so we wouldn't be surprised if it picks up as the starts goes off.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the flags. It's been coming and going. The zero went very well indeed. Beautiful day, almost cloudless, and a fantastic view out across the Oslo fjord as we have a look at the start list for today. Tora Berger starting in yellow, starting in red as well. And this season, she could claim all of the World Cups. The overall World Cup, the sprint, the pursuit, the mass start, the individual, are all within her grasp. She hasn't sealed any, but if she finishes in the top 2 today, she will be the overall champion, and no one has managed to seal the season that early. So she's going for records all the way through. She could also, Mark, get the most number of wins of anyone in a season. She's only got to win 3 more this year to equal Bjorndal's 13 from 2005.
Yeah, we always think this is unheard of to do this in this level and in biathlon because it's just so unpredictable. But she's on a fantastic season, and I reckon it's going to be the best we can expect to see here.
And what was interesting yesterday is we've seen her race well in benign conditions, but to race well in windy conditions and still hit the targets. Okay, she only hit 4 on the last shoot, but that was still pretty good going because it was really tricky.
Yeah, she said she was not confident in the range, but and was quite surprised to win. But with her level of concentration and being able to connect it on the range, then she comes through as a clear winner.
Yeah, even halfway through the season, they were saying there's one person you don't want to be standing next to on the range when it comes to the last shoot. It is, of course, the lady who is just on your screen. Tora Berger, can she get win number 11 for the season? She's going for that today. Here's the world champion in this mass start discipline, Daria Domarasheva. When she won in Novo Mesto, that was the celebrations were more from relief than anything else because things have not been going well with the rifle. What about Andrea Henkel? She's been a real stalwart in the German team. She's the #1 German. Not many people would have put money on that. Didn't have such a good mass start at the World Championships, missing 4, so she needs to tidy up. Pigrushna, one of the top 3 Ukrainians, a team that have gone from strength to strength. Kaisa Makarainen of Finland. Well, she's not won this season. She's incredibly quick. She's so fast. All she's got to do is tidy up. Fresh from the Nordic Championships. What about Miriam Gusner? What's she going to do? A little jet lagged, maybe. We'll see how she gets on today. And making up the front row, Kristina Palka, who, of course, claimed medals down in Novo Mesto. Vita Similienko, along with Pigrushna, could be a threat today. And Kuzmina, who's been coming back well. Nice to see her racing well, and I think her spirits will be picking up just in time for next year's Olympic Games. So just seconds away from the start of the women's mass start. The tracks, Mark, look fantastic.
Yeah, they look at their best. They're perfect.
A mad dash to get position out onto the first climb. Certainly don't want to be further back than 5th, but we've got 10 on the front row who all want to be up there in the front 5.
It's critical to get a good start position here so you don't get held back on the start.
Kuzmina just a little bit ahead of the gun, but that was quite a crafty move from her. And Simirenko's gone well for Ukraine. She's got herself just a metre or so ahead of Kuzmina. Also going well is Pigrushna. Tora Berger a little slow off the mark, and she certainly won't want to be sort of trapped in the middle of the group. You can see her on the far side of the picture, working very, very hard, as she always does, and just fighting to get up into the top 3.
I think that she would little bit be happy to hang back just a little enough, just to not go too crazy in the first 1 kilometre out of the start line.
Yeah, she's not renowned for being the fastest over the first 3 laps, but as the race goes on, she seems to get stronger and stronger. But what's so incredible is that this form of hers has lasted all the way from the beginning of December.
It's definitely a reflection of efforts from the summer, and she's come into this winter season on a massive supply of batteries.
Yeah, those who suffer injury and illness in the summer find that their winter season, they may have a very good peak, but that peak is always shorter than if they'd got the full summer's training in.
Yeah, if you do get sick in the summer, or if you start training late for whatever reason, then it's really tricky to last the distance.
Kuzmina, number 10. Number 5 on the left of your screen, Pig Drusner, who took the women's sprint title down in Novo Mesto. That was a big turnaround for her first win, and it might as well come at the World Championships. Fascinated to see what Gusner does, and don't get confused, because Mina wearing a suit very similar to the German one up front and leading Gusner just behind her. The difference being the bottom of the legs. Down goes Pig Drusner. She's taken, who's she taken with her? It could be one
20.
of Gasparin, is it? It is Selena Gasparin who's gone down. No real damage done.
Another fact is that when they get to every small little hill, everyone is in the middle and the back. They literally come to a standstill. So those athletes at the front, they can just accelerate forward. So you really have to pick your racing line here.
Gusner in second position. Tora Berger keeping an eye on her in third. Let's have another look at the full. I don't think anyone's to blame there. Selena Gasparin's ski going under the foot of Pig Drusner. They both go down, and no one else involved on this occasion.
I think they got lucky there, because normally a little crash like that, there'd be people standing up with a broken stick. So luckily there was no kit broken then.
So they can now settle down, and although we say they haven't lost too much time because of that, it does put the pulse rate up, it does take your concentration away, and only the best can deal with that very quickly.
Look at the view there, beautiful, sun shining, great, fantastic view into Oslo
Where's
city.
your house?
Just over there on the right, behind that tree.
What a spot to live. Some people have all the luck. Here we go up to the first checkpoint, 0.8 of a kilometre, 2:59, which is slow in terms of speed over the ground, but it's a reflection of the fact that nearly all the climbing is done in the first kilometre here in Oslo.
It really depends on the front leaders now. If they just want to push a little bit, everyone will follow. So there is a little bit of tactics, then maybe this first loop is just to kind of like just check it out, see how everyone's moving, and then the race really starts from the range.
4 chutes, remember, in the women's mass start, 12.5 kilometres the distance, so each of the loops at 2.5 kilometres. You will have worked that one out. Just a reminder, Tora Berger could tie up the overall title by my calculations. Do, if you think I'm wrong, do get in touch on the email, biathlon.eurosport@yahoo.com. and send us some messages for the end of the season. Any comments you have for Mark, who of course has come in to replace Mike Dixon, who's away at the Nordic World Championships, which finished today.
So that downhill they just came, they got a good 40 seconds roughly recovery, so now they can really turn it back up again as they start to climb.
Well, it is quite a stiff climb up around the back of what I think is called Gratisbakken, which if my Norwegian's up to scratch, you'll correct me, Mark, means the free hill, which I assume is where, if you wanted to watch the ski jumping without paying, that's where you found yourself.
Yeah, you'll find that area just behind the range there and up on the hill, it's an area where everyone's got a barbecue going, and it's a real good atmosphere. You can see the race for free, and it really gets busy in the woods there.
So Domracheva is the one who takes the race by the scruff of the neck, setting the pace. She's not broken away, but she has forced everyone to accelerate. And there won't be many who are skiing at their normal level before the shoot. They do get a significant rest here in Oslo. From the top of the point where Domracheva is now, it's relatively easy all the way into the shooting range. But for those who've been working above their normal threshold, they're still going to find it quite difficult to recover.
I find in this kind of race that you go outside of your comfort zone early, because if you don't hang in there, then you've got very little chance to go quicker towards the end of the race. So a lot of these athletes will be skiing out of their normal means just to stay in there.
Well, the contrasting styles of Daria Domracheva in the front, Tora Berger in third, Miriam Gusner, who really skis a little more like Tora Berger, that short, sharp action. And Mark and I discussing it just prior to the race, and you have to ski with a shorter action. If you want the high tempo that Gustner and Berger go for, you can't afford for the arms or the legs to do the full extent of extension, and therefore everything's shortened. Domracheva looks slightly more elegant. I know with many of our viewers she's very, very popular, but she doesn't have that option of skiing at the tempo that Berger does. So we'll see how they get on. They go for the lane that corresponds with their bib number. So those in lanes 28, 29, 30 often get the 5 targets down first, but then they find themselves with an extra 80, 90 meters to ski. So here we go, first shoot.
This is real head-to-head now. A lot of feeling you've got people around you. Kuzmina super fast there, clear.
Yeah, Tora Berger clear, so she's in the running. Kuzmina has gone clear. Is she going to get a win today? She certainly looked as though she's capable of it. Sukalova, who did win earlier in the season, she's gone clear for the Czech Republic, as